When dealing with people, remember, you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion. Konnichiwa and welcome to the Leadership Japan series, and I am your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, President of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, and much more importantly, you are a student of leadership, highly motivated to be the best in your business field. If you enjoyed the program, then you might consider subscribing on iTunes and leaving a review. We would love to hear what you think about the series. How would you like your own access to 103 years of the accumulated wisdom of Dale Carnegie Training? Get our free report, Stop Wasting Money on Training, How to Get the Best Results from Your Training Budget, plus our free white papers, guidebooks, reports, training videos, blogs, newsletters, course information, plus much more at japan.dalecarnegie.com. Today is episode 90, discussing how do you make people feel. We're all pretty average on recalling events, people's names, locations, sequences, etc., but we are geniuses on remembering feelings. We are especially good on how people made us feel. Stop, recall, reflect. How do you make others feel? Are you a master of the snappy remark? A character assassin, brilliantly wielding the sharp put-down? A notorious one-upper? A sarcastic sadist? Or are you a builder of friendships, confidences, trust, regard, cooperation, fans, and followers? Business is deemed to be logical, cool, balanced, unswerving on the road to greater efficiencies. Ironically, we are such emotional beings trying to be detached, but we're usually not very good at it though. Dale Carnegie noted, when dealing with people, remember, you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion. We forget this advice at our peril. Ever find yourself still chewing over some ancient injustice? The precise details may grow dim in the mists of time, but the intensity of the feeling is still like red-hot magna residing deep within you. All we need is the right trigger to set those feelings off, and what we have to understand is this is the same for everyone else. We are constantly reacting emotionally to occurrences in other people. Something doesn't arrive on time or in the right format. We have that chemical reaction that is triggered by the emotions of anger, disappointment, fear, or frustration. What happened to that logic port in the storm? It sailed right out the window as we grind our teeth or curse the perpetrator of our problems. People say something trying to be witty, but we take it badly because we don't see any humor in that comment. We instantly feel insulted, embarrassed, hurt, mortified, or humiliated. We might retreat inside ourselves and not mention or show any obvious reaction, but we don't forgive and we don't forget. Or we might savage them on the spot and lash out in defense of our good name, creating massive tension and painful silences in the process. There are some basic principles of successful human relations we should never forget. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain is an all-weather wonder. Let's resist the urge to correct others, to tell them off, to bring their personal failings to their attention immediately. It is not a cure that works well, and in fact, just builds pig-headed resistance as the guilty party seeks to justify their dubious actions. They also hate us for bringing it up, and they are often pretty decent lifelong haters. Anyone in your past you still have it in for because they chastise you? Find another way to highlight the problem, something more nuanced and subtle rather than in-your-face remonstration. Let the other person save face is a handy principle to keep in mind in public situations. Not everyone is quick, elegant, or urbane, and some people seem to invite correction, but let's resist that urge. Being told they have completely mangled the proper pronunciation of a word or grammatical construct or got the facts totally about face may make you feel better, but you have just made yourself a target for revenge and retribution. Just because they may not obviously react should be cold comfort. Remember to beware the dog that doesn't bark. They don't know when, where, or how, but they will have their revenge. Show respect for the other person's opinion. Never say, "You are wrong," even if you feel they are so totally incorrect it is barely fathomable. Restrain yourself from leaping in and pointing out they are an idiot. The passing crowd takes note to be careful when around you, and the individual in question will now feel a surge of energy to argue the point with you, completely oblivious to rhyme or reason. There are other ways to agree to disagree without destroying the relationship. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Incredibly, even people in sales forget this sage advice and want to argue with the client. We might win the battle over the point of contention, but we will lose the war over the long term. We mark ourselves out as a difficult person, and very inconveniently, bad news about us travels far and wide. We have all met argumentative types, but we usually don't like them very much. We mark them out in our memory as someone to be careful of and, if possible, to avoid. Maya Angelou summed it up brilliantly. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. So, take a moment and consider how you make people feel. What are you doing right now to be better in your interactions with people? If you haven't already found the right formula, apply these principles and build your success. People skills do make a difference. So let's master them by first eliminating our own goals. Here are some action steps. Always remember, when dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain about others. Let the other person save face. Show respect for the other person's opinion. Never say, "You are wrong." The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Memorize this quote. People forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then you might consider subscribing on iTunes and leaving a review. Remember to access your Dale Carnegie training free reports, white papers, guidebooks, training videos, blogs, newsletters, course information, plus much, much more, then go to japan.dalecarnegie.com.